Right now we're about to continue a pranic reading as we've been proceeding. Today's pranic reading comes straight to you from Yogi Shaktivirya. Shout out to Yogi Shaktivirya. Working on that Shakti. That Shiva and Shakti, that Shakti power. That Shakti power. So shout out to the yogi who wrote this wonderful book. The book is called Breatharianism, Ionized Water, and Pranic Nourishment. And we are starting today on chapter 3. Chapter 3. It is diet methods to bring more prana into one's body. So blessings, right before we say this, you can also check out this playlist. And the playlist is called The Pranic Pages. That's on YouTube. On the channel, The Pranic Pages, that is the playlist as we say this. So much love once again for listening. Thank you so much for being here. So diet methods to bring more prana into one's body. Our relationship with food is often seen as something simple, a matter of survival and energy. But what if nourishment could extend beyond mere calories and into the realms of spiritual energy, what many call prana? Meals that are naturally high in vitamins, minerals, proteins, fibers, and fats seem to allow for much longer periods of water fasting compared to those high in carbohydrates. These carefully chosen foods serve not just to sustain the body, but to open pathways for prana, the life force that surrounds us. Use the force. Luke, the force. The life force that surrounds us to be more fully absorbed. Understanding this pranic flow through diet may hold the key to longevity, vitality, and even enlightenment. Having spent years immersed in both breatharian and pranic diets, I've come to a startling conclusion. The ability to live entirely without food, known as inertia, is less a concept of fantasy and more an elusive miracle that seems to function on a level of nature and science we have yet to fully comprehend. Now, it's interesting that, it's talking about nature and science. They say that science is seen spirituality and spirituality is unseen science. You ever heard that? It's almost like they say, the seeing eye spectrum. When we look on the visible eye spectrum, there are schools of thought that say, legend has it, right, that we actually see less than 1%. Less than 1% of what is actually out there. Of what is actually there in our reality, we see less than 1%. Can you believe that? Not even 5% of what is able to be seen in our reality. So on the visible eye spectrum, is like something like 0.00000 whatever percentage of what we're actually seeing. But there's so much more to explore. If individuals can truly live off of prana, it suggests that some form of quantum nourishment drawn from the very fabric of existence is taking place. However, many breatharians likely supplement their pranic energy with occasional light meals or liquids, just enough to sustain them, especially as their meditative lifestyles demand fewer calories than the typical person. Living on prana, awakening to the infinite. Daily fasting offers an incredible opportunity to connect with the infinite ocean of prana. Don't you like that? An ocean that surrounds us. They say, I remember reading in the Kabbalion, the law of vibration. The law of vibration in the Kabbalion states, everything vibrates Nothing rests. The world is an ocean of motion. It said everything vibrates. Even this table is vibrating, right? This pen is vibrating. This book is vibrating, right? It's like there's nothing that we really think that's physical, matter. It's all energy. Even when you embrace someone, it's like particles of energy embracing each other. People say we're not even really touching. It's just there's so much empty space inside. It just makes you wonder. It's amazing. I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson sometimes in our universe. Some rare individuals. It is not just about refraining from food, but rather about opening oneself to subtler forms of energy available in nature. Some rare individuals, such as Prahlad Jani, seem to be genetically gifted with an ability to survive for long periods without food or water. Perhaps absorbing prana in ways that defy scientific explanation. While the average person may never experience this extreme pranic nourishment, can still be accessed through a well-structured diet that enhances one's ability to absorb cosmic energy. This transition into prana living may take years of gradual dietary shifts, beginning with vegetarianism, raw foods, fruitarian diets, liquids, and finally, water fasting. For most of us, this journey can also begin by incorporating prana foods, meals that stimulate the body's ability to absorb quantum energy. The sensation of this energy coursing through the body is unmistakable. A profound rush of vitality that feels like bliss itself, as all tension melts away and one is left with a feeling of pure spirit. From that point, the need for food diminishes. Not because of deprivation, but because the body's needs are met through subtler, more refined sources. Detoxifying the body, preparing for pranic nourishment. For a pranic diet to take full effect, the body must be in a state of deep purification. Antioxidants play a crucial role in this process, cleansing the cells and protecting them from an oxidative stress that ages us. That reminds me, when I was reading Man's Higher Consciousness by Hilton Hotema, we've read that on this. Well, it's on Patreon. It talked about how anything that damages the body ages the body. Therefore, if food damages the body, it ages the body. And it was very logical. It was like just putting it in very logical terms, like an if-then statement. If, then this. If that, then this. If this, then that. So it's like anything that damages the body, ages the body. That wear and tear on the vehicle. It's like we're accruing mileage. You know about mileage? It's like we're gaining mileage on the body when we don't have to. Drinking electrolyte water enriched with a wide spectrum of trace minerals between meals not only enhances this detoxification, but also fills the body with life-giving vitality. This practice dramatically reduces cravings and addictions, while also rejuvenating the cells and promoting a state of inner ecstasy. Snacking, on the other hand, undermines this entire process. It disrupts digestion, encouraging unhealthy habits, and prevents the body from experiencing the bliss of pranic nourishment. To truly benefit from prana foods, one must approach mealtime with intention and clarity. When the time to eat does arrive, the body should be in a state of readiness with a strong appetite. This is when food can be most thoroughly enjoyed and absorbed. The diet that supports this state of pranic nourishment or pranic absorption should be rich in proteins, fats, and fiber following a Paleolithic model. The fats and proteins should come from sources like avocado, walnuts, flax seeds, vegetables, herbs, ghee, fish, and poultry, eggs. Though I personally found it difficult to maintain optimal health without some form of meat, this is by no means a universal truth. Many people thrive on purely plant-based diets. For me, small amounts of fish or poultry seem necessary to stay grounded, alert, and spiritually attuned. Very interesting. Wow, I don't hear that very often, but this yogi is saying it helps him stay grounded. Me, on the other hand, I'm pretty much the opposite. The power of a pranic diet, a return to natural harmony. Red meat, however, is something I've always avoided. Consuming red meat feels like a violation of natural law, a subtle form of cannibalism that disconnects us from our distant relatives, the mammals we share this earth with. Beyond the ethical considerations, the environmental cost of raising cattle and other livestock is devastating. We talked about this last time. How we grow more food to feed the animals that we eat than we even grow to feed ourselves. It's amazing. The methane emissions alone contribute significantly to the climate crisis that threatens the future of all life on Earth. By understanding the Paleolithic diet and its effects on stabilizing blood sugar, reducing appetite, and promoting health, we can return to a more balanced and natural way of living. The foundation of this pranic diet lies in non-starchy vegetables, raw fruits, and freshly extracted juices. Occasional grains, such as buckwheat and oat bran, can be included, but only in their whole forms, never processed into bread, crackers, or sugary snacks. Beverages like coffee, alcohol, and soda are to be completely avoided. These substances are too stimulating, too acidic, and lead to mineral loss in the body over time, contributing to diseases that could easily be avoided. And this is actually really close to home, pretty heartbreaking, because when I was back with my family during Thanksgiving, that's all the kids are drinking. The little ones, the real little ones. They're just drinking soda, eating sweets, just drinking. And, I've seen kids in my family less than 10 years old that already have root canals. They're already getting cavities, root canals, all sorts of stuff, just drinking sodas every single day. These substances are too stimulating, too acidic, contributing to diseases that could easily be avoided. This diet eliminates all forms of processed foods, junk foods, and harmful substances such as smoking and drug use. The bliss of pranic nourishment, replacing addictions with ecstasy. Wow. Can we really? This pranic approach does more than eliminate physical cravings. It transforms the very nature of addiction itself, including emotional, psychological, and even physiological dependencies. The powerful addictive pull of sexual gratification, for instance, can be transmuted into a profound and sustained state of bliss. I agree. When sexual energy is conserved and redirected, it becomes an immense source of joy and spiritual power. Rather than dissipating in fleeting moments of pleasure, this energy fuels the soul's journey towards enlightenment. Adaptogenic herbs, powerful antioxidants, and full-spectrum mineral supplements can aid this transmutation process. Special berries like goji, acai, and blueberries. Love blueberries. Blueberry juice is one of my favorite juice. Provide high levels of antioxidants protecting the brain, nervous system, and circulatory system from degeneration. These natural substances infuse the body with electron donor molecules, neutralizing cell-damaging free radicals. The result is nothing short of miraculous. A deep sense of happiness, health, and vitality that feels as though it could extend life indefinitely. Now, I don't know about you, but when I went for my longest dry fast or dry feast, air feasting, following my first Breatharian retreat, it was a pranic retreat with one of my mentors, I left there in a state where I felt like we can continue. It was almost like going back to eat and drink. It was a choice. It was like I actually don't have to. And it was a feeling that I can't give to anyone. You can't give someone that feeling. But an inner knowing that consumption is completely a choice. It was an option that I was always choosing, whether I knew it or not, consciously or unconsciously, putting things in my mouth, just guzzling things down because I thought that I needed it, But going through that retreat, I wasn't depleted. I had all that I needed. So that feeling, extending life indefinitely, is a real one. The vital role of ojas, conserving life's most precious energy. Wow, okay, here we go. We ready? At the heart of pranic nourishment is the concept of ojas, the subtle energy that is cultivated through the conservation of vital sex fluids. Ojas acts as a protective layer of bliss. Whoa, haven't heard that one before. A protective layer of bliss around the body's cells, particularly the nerve cells, enhancing memory, character, and spiritual insight. It is the secret to accessing higher forms of nourishment, such as astral food and cosmic energy. By conserving ojas, one is not merely practicing restraint, but creating a bridge to these higher forms of sustenance. Instead of eating throughout the day, the pranic diet encourages fasting for extended periods, eating only one complete meal a day or even every other day. This practice isn't about deprivation. It is about feeding the body in such a way that fasting becomes effortless and enjoyable. Over the course of nearly 4 decades, I have refined my regimen to achieve this balance. Now think about that for a second. Achieving a state where fasting becomes effortless and even enjoyable, where fasting becomes long-lasting. This is interesting. Where you get to a state where it's almost like the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching has many paradoxes, many parables, and many backwards philosophies. Like, if you want to be full, be empty. If you want to be given everything, give everything up, right? It says, the direct path seems crooked, right? The quick path seems long. True wisdom seems childish. True strength seems weak, right? These paradoxes, these parables, and just, it's like a backwards law, The way forward seems to go back. And I just loved it because when I was fasting, those first times, those first months of just going without solid food, I was absorbing, completely just feeding and eating spiritual scripture, spiritual knowledge, like, Swami Sivananda's The Practice of Brahmacharya, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, and even, you know, the Bhagavad Gita. That was another book that I really enjoyed. And Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. That was another book. So I was just eating all of these books, and this was becoming my food for sure. But it was teaching me that all these paradoxes, they make strange sense. They make sense. If you want to be full, be empty. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. Right? The one who needs nothing possesses everything. It's a paradox, but it makes sense. Over the course of nearly 4 decades, I have refined my regimen to achieve this balance. By eating only whole, complete meals and cleansing the body daily with electrolyte water, I have experienced states of bliss and rejuvenation that far exceed anything I have ever known through conventional diets. The fruits of pranic living, bliss, healing, and rejuvenation. After adopting this regimen, I experienced profound healing. Even my tooth decay reversed. Whoa, a miracle in itself. And I have not needed to visit a dentist since 1975. Today, in 2024, I continue to thrive on this prana-based lifestyle. This journey, my journey into pranic nourishment, has not only improved my health, but has opened me to deeper states of spiritual ecstasy, joy, and enlightenment. The pranic diet, with its emphasis on fasting, nourishment through quantum energy, and the conservation of life force, is more than just a way of eating. It is a way of living in harmony with the universe. It is an invitation to step beyond the physical, to transcend the limitations of the body, and to embrace the boundless energy that surrounds us. Through this practice, we become more than just consumers of food. We become co-creators of a reality where bliss, vitality, and spiritual fulfillment are our true nourishment. Discover how mineral water can help you absorb prana. The profound role of water in prana absorption. Water is the essence of life, not just biologically, but also spiritually. It forms the foundation of health and vitality, acting as the medium through which prana, the life force, flows more freely. The sheer abundance of water on our planet and within our bodies is no coincidence. It is the fundamental element that connects us to the greater energetic forces of nature. In my personal journey towards higher consciousness and holistic well-being, I have found water to be one of the most important allies in absorbing prana and fostering an energetic alignment between body and spirit. When I speak of water, I do not merely refer to hydration in the basic sense. Rather, I refer to water as a conduit for energy, a vehicle that, when charged with the right minerals, enables the body to operate at its highest vibrational potential. Drinking water between meals, especially when fasting, not only helps cleanse the body, but also attunes it to subtler energies. There have been moments when I was so busy that I did not have time to eat, and instead, I would drink this specialized mineral water. I found myself feeling rejuvenated, energized, and clear-headed in ways that food alone could never achieve. The dangers of dehydration and nutrient imbalance. It is easy to overlook how harmful improper hydration can be, especially when combined with a diet that is too high in concentrated carbohydrates or proteins without the balance of fruits, vegetables, and raw juices, and adequate water intake. When the body becomes dehydrated, a cascade of imbalances follows. The kidneys struggle. The acid-alkaline equilibrium is disturbed, and fatigue sets in, often without any conscious awareness. I have learned the hard way that without sufficient water, especially as one ages, these imbalances can sneak up insidiously. I like that word, insidious. Insidious. What's that word again? Insidious, proceeding in a gradual, subtle way, but with harmful effects. Sexually transmitted diseases can be insidious and sometimes without symptoms. Oof. Oh yeah, insidious. That is insidious, making it difficult to detect until the body is in distress. Electrolyte-rich mineral water has been a game changer for me in this regard. It not only quenches the thirst, but also provides a powerful cleansing and restorative effect. What's more, when consumed during extended fast, this water seems to act as a catalyst to remove senescent cells. Senescent. I've heard that before. Senescent. Senescence, the condition or process of deterioration with age. Interesting. Senescent cells. Those aging, inefficient cells that hinder the body's ability to rejuvenate. Some research even suggests it may aid in the elimination of potentially cancerous cells. Whether or not this is scientifically proven to the fullest extent, I can attest to the remarkable sense of purification and vitality that follows a regimen of proper hydration. The miracle of electrolyte water, a path to freedom from food cravings. Perhaps the most striking discovery I have made about drinking this carefully balanced electrolyte fulvic mineral water, say that 10 times fast, is the ability to curb unnecessary food cravings in a culture that equates health with constant snacking and grazing. Breaking free from the need to snack can feel revolutionary. I have found that my body becomes more nourished by these electrolyte-rich waters, and the insatiable cravings that once ruled my days begin to fade. Are you a poet? Yogi Shakti is a poet. You already know it. Replaced by a more grounded and sustained energy. Now it's interesting what he's talking about, snacking. Oh man, we just continue snacking and packing and stacking, don't we? You know, here in the States, here in the United States of America, the US of A, I don't know about, in other places, I don't know about Colombia and Australia and Canada and, India. I don't know about them. But I know here, you can't go through the grocery store without seeing snacks in the aisle as you're on your way out. You've already gotten what you need, right? You might have gotten whatever, some coconut water, some juice, but you have to walk past the Kit Kats, the Snickers, the Hershey bars, right? The Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups. You have to walk past all that on your way out. Just when you're in the checkout line, they got the gossip magazines, the People magazines, the National Enquirer, and right next to that is all of the chocolate. It's crazy. The snacks, the potato chips, the Lays, right? That got you laid up on the Lays, right? Laid out on Lay's potato chips. That's what I used to be. I used to be laid out. Give me some Lays, we laid up. We laid. Laid and slayed. This is not simply about suppressing hunger, but about nourishing the cells at a deeper level. The very composition of this water, containing calcium, magnesium, sodium chloride, potassium, and over 70 trace elements helps replenish the body's reserves in ways that ordinary water or even food cannot. By drinking this water daily, I have experienced a profound sense of lightness and clarity, as if the very act of hydration was feeding not just my body, but my spirit. It feels like a step closer to the pranic diet and perhaps a gradual move towards breatharianism. Now, I just uploaded a video on our Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon supporters out here. Patreon.com/Pranic Path for all things breatharianism. And I just uploaded a video where a guy scientifically breaks down, he says, we figured it out. Like, science is finally catching up and realizing that it's all in the air. It's in the atmosphere. That we don't even need, food, water, like all these things is in the air. Nutrients is actually in the air. Our vitamins, minerals, all the things that we think that, we're going to perish or die without. It's in the atmosphere. It's in the air. So this guy broke it down scientifically. I have it up. It's free. It's one of the free videos that we have up on our Patreon. So check it out. Patreon.com/Pranic Path, and you'll check out that video. Spiritual fasting with electrolyte water. And it's interesting too, because when you go on a long dry fast, you realize just how much moisture is actually in the air. Like, it was only when I went without water for a long time that I realized we live in water. We're like fish that don't know we live in water. Like, there's water in the air. We're breathing it in all day long. So technically, you're never really dry during a dry fast because there's water in the air. Just think about that. When you drink water infused with these vital minerals during a fast, it becomes a spiritual experience. It is as if the water itself is infused with prana. And as it moves through your body, it cleanses not just the physical vessel, but the energetic channels as well. The experience is far more than a simple detox. It feels like a recalibration of the body's entire system. However, there is a critical point of caution. No matter how miraculous this water may seem, it is not a substitute for proper nourishment. Fasting must always be balanced with a whole, living, nutritionally complete superfood meals when hunger does arrive. When hunger does arise. Now, it's interesting that he talks about hunger, because when you go without for a long period of time, you ask yourself, what is hunger? Like, when hunger does arise, what is hunger? If hunger is only the sensation or the craving of food, or even just the gurgling noises in your gut, or even just the toxicity moving around, or even just the digestive system working, or even just the parasites acting up late at night, is that hunger? I watched my family go to that refrigerator. I watched them go to that refrigerator. And he opened the refrigerator. My cousin opened the refrigerator door for like the 10th time that night. And he was like, Jerome, I don't even know why I'm hungry. He said this. He said, Jerome, man, I don't even know why I'm hungry. I just ate. I had a full plate. I just ate. I don't even know why I'm hungry. I was like, do you want to know? I was like, do you really want to know? He was like, nah. He was like, nah, I'm just going to eat this. Let me just have this sandwich. However, there is a critical point of caution. Skipping this step, thinking that water alone can sustain you, can feel like it leads to depletion, especially when the body truly needs fuel. The key is moderation and listening to the wisdom of the body. Knowing when it is time to nourish and when it is time to cleanse. Now, that's very interesting that he differentiates the two. When it is time to nourish and when it is time to cleanse. because one can find cleansing very nourishing. In fact, one might say that once they are cleansed, they're finally able to nourish more fully. Alkalinity, the key to longevity and stress reduction. One of the most important roles this mineral-rich water plays is in maintaining the body's delicate pH balance. Many of the foods we consume in the modern world, meat, bread, and carbonated beverages, are highly acidic, leading to calcium leaching from our bones and teeth. And I should definitely know, because I had a diet for years consisting of basically all the meat that you can think of, all the animals that you can think of. I was eating all the animals that, we typically know. The chicken, the cows, the birds, the chicken. Yeah, we know the typical three ones. I wasn't having the ham and the pork because it was against our religion, my family religion at the time. They still practice Seventh-day Adventists. They don't eat pork or scavenger fish, so those were off limits. But growing up, I was eating everything. And I can vouch that the bones and the teeth are not the same. At least in my experience, they're never the same. Over time, this can result in weakened bones, tooth decay, and a host of other health issues. However, diseases that thrive in acidic environments are less likely to survive in a body that is constantly alkaline. Now, I've heard this as well. Somebody said cancer cannot survive in an alkaline body. You got a body that's alkaline? Psh, what is cancer? What is all this stuff? What is that? It's like it kicks it to the curb. It's like, psh, get out of here. Scram! You remember Scooby-Doo? There was a character named Scrappy-Doo. Scrappy-Doo. Puppy power! Let me at him. It's like your body becomes like Scrappy-Doo. It's like, get that out of here. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Right? You got an alkaline body. You slapping disease left and right. You slapping illness left and right. You slapping, pimp slapping these things left and right. Get that out of here. In an alkaline body, they say cancer cannot thrive or survive or stay alive in an alkaline body. I said, okay, let me work on my body. How can I do that? Can I that please? Check please. I'll take the alkaline body to go, please. Please? Thank you. Drinking electrolyte water regularly creates a natural buffer against this acidity, providing an environment in which health can flourish. I've noticed how much calmer and more balanced I feel when my body is alkaline, free from the hidden stresses that acidity often brings. The effects on my anxiety were particularly profound. Yes, I can agree. Anxiety, nervousness, all that jitteriness. After suffering panic attacks, right? After suffering for years from anxiety linked to cerebral lactic acid sensitivity, the introduction to electrolyte water into my routine provided a soothing buffer for this acid, reducing the frequency and intensity of my anxiety attacks. Now, if you've never felt a panic attack or an anxiety attack, it's horrible. It's horrible. I never thought I would be even the type of person to get panic attacks. But when I got my first panic attack and I started to get them one after another, it was like, you look at your phone like, am I going to have to call 911? Like, do I need to go to the hospital now? Is somebody going to have to get me? Am I going to have to? Will they get me there fast enough? It's like your heart is palpitating. You're hard to breathe. It's shallow. You feel like your world is shrinking. you're getting darker. It's getting darker and darker, just closing in. Kind of like that Looney Tunes outro. There was like a Looney Tunes thing, like Porky Pig. That's all, folks. And they used to have that thing in the Looney Tunes where it would just get darker and darker, and then the screen would just be enveloped in darkness. That's how your world feels like during a panic attack. Sometimes you feel like things are just closing in. It gets claustrophobic. You have to go outside. I went outside in the grass. I put my feet in the grass. I just walked in the grass barefoot. And slowly but surely, I started to restabilize. I started to feel. I started to heal. And I started to reveal what was the problem. But there were times where I didn't know if somebody would get there fast enough. Like, is this it? Is this the end? Is this how I go? Is this it? So panic attacks, Jesus. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. After suffering for years from anxiety, for those looking to improve their mental health, the role of electrolyte water in managing acid-induced stress cannot be overstated. Perfect digestion and microflora through water. Another revelation that came to me after several weeks of consistently drinking electrolyte water was how much it improved my digestion. No longer plagued by bloating, gas, or discomfort. What if you no longer had to have bloating, gas, and discomfort? What if those were like a bygone era for you? Can you imagine? My body felt like a finely tuned instrument. This water didn't just hydrate me, it helped me cultivate the perfect environment for healthy microflora to thrive in my gut. Good digestion, as I've come to learn, is one of the pillars of absorbing prana. When the digestive system is in balance, the body is more open to absorbing higher frequencies of energy. It is as though the very act of drinking this water creates a harmonious inner environment, aligning not just the physical body, but also the energetic pathways, making it easier to connect with higher states of consciousness. The journey continues toward pranic living. As I continue my journey, I am more convinced than ever that water plays a key role in the body's ability to thrive on prana. While breatharianism may seem like a distant goal to many, there are attainable steps we can all take in the meantime to align ourselves with this higher way of living. By hydrating with mineral-rich, electrolyte-charged water, we not only nourish our bodies in the present, but also prepare them for a future where food may no longer be necessary in the ways that we have always understood it. The transformation that happens when the body is fully hydrated with living water is nothing short of miraculous. It enables you to break free from the constraints of constant hunger and food cravings, opening the door to a lighter, more spiritual way of being. And I don't know about you, but when cravings go away, it is a surreal experience. Can you imagine walking into a grocery store and just walking by things that you used to crave? The sugary snacks, the salty snacks, the spicy things, the tangy things, the sweet things, the sour things, right? All the cereals on the shelf. Everything that you thought you would never be without. Everything that you used to shovel down your mouth, you can just walk past them as if they have no pull over you. Like you've cut those energetic cords. You're like Pinocchio. Like, I'm a real boy. You remember Pinocchio? I've got no strings on me. There's no strings attached. You're no longer being puppeted on a string like a puppeteer just controlling you. Ah, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, go get it. Ah, the Lucky Charms, go get it. Ah, the Slim Jims, go get it. Ah, the rotisserie, go get it. Ah, the sushi, go get it, right? You're not being controlled. You're complete, you're whole. You are one with the divine. You're like, it's already mine. I have more than I need. So that level of non-craving, when you're no longer slaving, it's like no feeling that I've ever felt before in my life. No substance, no drug, no alcohol, no psychedelic, no hallucinogen that I've ever done in my life could equal up to the bliss that I felt with nothing at all. Nothing. I remember talking to a lady, and she was reading about yogis and saints, and it was boggling her mind. She was like, how can they be so happy, so peaceful, so content with nothing? It almost brought her to tears. She was like, how can they feel like that with nothing? And it fascinated her. Her name was Athena Starseed. She's still alive, still doing her thing. Shout out to Athena. You begin to feel the currents of prana flowing through you, sustaining you on a deeper level. For me, it has been a journey of discovery, not just of water's physical benefits, but of its spiritual power. Each sip is a reminder that the body and spirit are inseparable, and that in water we find the source of life itself. And we'll go ahead and we'll take a rest here. We'll take a breath here. Much love. Thank you so much for listening, my friend. Thank you so much for glistening. Much love. Thank you for being, and thank you for seeing as we're learning how we can be freeing. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Keep the grateful, thankful spirit. And I trust that the rest of your life and the breath of your life is the best of your life. My friend, this has been Jerome Shaw. Check out the website that we have for you with all this pranic content, books like this one, and other things for your listening, your viewing, and your reading pleasure. It is always a treasure. That website for you is called patreon.com/pranicpath, with a pranic library, a wealth of knowledge, and it is ongoing. And just recently, we've started a new documentary series with yours truly, just some, impromptu moments, some bloopers, some different things that we're coming into the awareness, in all fairness, coming into these understandings of the prana that is now demanding our attention. So much love. Your body is life's greatest invention. Remember, you deserve your love and attention. To receive that energetic expression, there's always a lesson, always a blessing. So take care. I love to see your progression. One more time, the website is patreon.com/pranicpath. We'll see you next time.